Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Hi. How you doing?
Tracy.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you to everyone that's watching the live. Thank you to everyone that will watch the replay. For those of you that do not know me, I am Natasha Rivera. I am a lifestyle strategist and I help women unapologetically redesign their lives and prioritize their health and their well-being through faith, freedom, and fitness. I have a strong passion for gut health. And that's what we're going to get into today. Today, I have the pleasure and the honor to talk to Miss Tracy J. Moss, all the way from the ATL.
The
All the way
ATL.
from the ATL. She is the healthy hair coach. She is a veteran licensed stylist and gut health advocate.
Yes.
And she's going to break it down to us about healthy hair, gut health, and scalp disease. And I like how you break it apart, Tracy. Disease. And we're going to disease.
Yes, disease.
That's what I'm talking about. So, Tracy, go ahead. I'm going to pass the mic over to you. Introduce yourself to the audience, and we're going to get into it.
Okay, I am Tracy J. Moss. Again, I am a healthy hair coach. I'm a veteran licensed stylist with over 35 years experience in this industry, and I am a gut health advocate. And the reason why I say I'm a gut health advocate is because in those 35 years, me coaching people to healthy hair, I found that we were getting the information. We just didn't know what that information meant. So when I look back and I say, oh, how did I keep people's hair healthy? Well, we talked about drinking water. We talked about eating a healthy diet, getting rest, no stress, that kind of thing. We didn't know, we weren't taught at that time that it was about keeping that gut healthy. And so when I realized through my experience with my gut health journey, was that what we were actually doing was trying to get people to take care of their gut. So when you get to the simple part, it's like, take care of your gut. And then that's what you're going to get is a healthy hair. So that is why I'm a gut health advocate.
That's amazing. And I do really know that it goes all hand in hand. And for those of you that do not know, that may follow Tracy or follow me, and you still don't have a clue what gut health is, I'm going to break it down to you. For you. So gut health in simple form, it's the balance of bacteria in your digestive system. It's your small, your large intestine, and it includes your stomach. A healthy gut supports digestion and your immunity and your overall health and well-being. And an imbalanced gut can create and lead to various types of illness and disease. So that's it in the skinny. There are so many different facets to it, but it's basically that's it in a nutshell. Right. And so you take care of that, you can take care of everything else in essence. Correct, Tracy?
Right. That's correct. And, honestly, as a stylist, I have come in contact with feeling that people's hair was changing and asking them, what's going on? And they say, I don't know what you mean. I say, your hair feels different. Is something going on? It's drier. Something's going on. And you know what? It will be maybe a week, 2 weeks later. And all of a sudden, you know what? You asked me what was going on. And I had kidney infection, or I had this infection, or this was going on, because it's going to show in our hair. We know that we're not feeling well, or, when we're going through lifestyle changes, we're stressed out, that kind of thing. It shows in our hair.
Wow.
So the hair is an indicator of what's going on internally. And what's going on internally is really happening because of what's going on in our gut.
And what's going on in our gut is because what's going on in our mouth. Oh, I said that out
loud. Or what's not coming out.
Well, and that too.
Okay.
And also, in all fairness, environmental toxins, we have to take those into consideration. Yeah. So the things we spray on our skin, which is our largest organ, right? Perfumes and plugins that you put into your home, and just the toxins and the pollution that's out when you leave your home. So it's all a factor, and it all disrupts your gut.
All disrupts.
Oh, Tracy, that's good that you can even tell.
Oh, yeah, you can tell. I can tell. I can tell if someone has, let's say if I had a client that was pregnant and wasn't quite showing, might not be saying it yet, because sometimes we like to wait just to be sure. I can almost tell because the hair is going to start to feel different. The hormones going on in the body is going to start to feel different. And so I might not be able to say, oh, she's pregnant, but I know something is going on. Something has changed. And then when they tell me they're pregnant, it's like, that's why. That's why.
You're a hair whisperer.
That's why she was feeling that way. It's amazing because, the hair holds everything. Hair tells everything. That's why you do drug testing with hair samples.
That is so true. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
I want to back up for 1 second because I like to tell a fun story about how I met all of my guests when they come on. We just got right on into it, Tracy, and I'm
here. Yeah, I know, right?
Listen, I'm here for this.
How you know this lady?
This is my type of carrying on. So Tracy and I are both with Plexus. We're with Plexus, and we met in February of this year. We never met prior, and we both earned a vacation to Punta Cana. And I didn't know at the time, but my husband and I, her husband shared the row with us, and he slept the entire time. And we met her when we got off the plane. And we were in like it was registration, right, Tracy?
Right.
We registered, and then she walked up with her husband, and my husband and I were like, "Oh, hey, you slept the whole ride." He enjoyed his ride, okay? Yes. And then we just talked briefly, and we just stayed connected on social media, and now here we are talking to you guys collectively about gut health. So I'm super excited, and it's just the amazing thing with life. You never know who you're going to meet, when you're going to meet them, and how you're going to meet them. But the fact of the matter is you meet them, and you don't meet anyone by accident. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited for you to educate us tonight. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen. When you were talking about the hair earlier, I wish I had a Tracy earlier on in life, because I struggled with seborrheic dermatitis since I was in my 20s. And I would go to the doctors, and they would just prescribe this shampoo.
Yep.
And
it
did nothing. And it did absolutely nothing for me. And this is before I went natural in 2009. So every time I would perm my hair, the scales would go away because it was like thick oatmeal was all around my edges. And then it started spreading to my eyebrows and around the creases of my nose, behind my ear and in my ear. So it was like starting to take over my face. And I was like, what is it? So I started doing research. So now this is fast forward now. And I just like, when I got my locks 3 years ago, I thought I was going to have to take them out because it was still an issue. I couldn't wash my scalp like I used to, right? And I started doing research, and it was like gut health. Like, so when I started my gut health journey, that's why I know you're absolutely right with this scalp disease. Yes. Because as soon as I started taking care of my gut health, it went away.
Right. Now, and so let me just say this. Honestly, what got me into saying this is a thing is because I started my gut health journey by accident. I was invited to hear about, what people were doing. Oh, you're trying to support people during the quarantine, because we were all my business was shut down. Okay. So, I wasn't buying anything. I'm pulling plugs out the wall. We gonna save all we saving, right? My business was shut down because I'm health and beauty, but health is first. So we weren't in here playing about hair. We don't need to do that. We don't know what is going on. We need to figure out how we can safely be around one another. So I wasn't trying to do any hair. If my family, my husband's a teacher, the schools aren't going, Tracy's not going, because I got to come back here with them, So a friend of mine invited me to hear about a business she had joined. And I was like, oh, wow, that was a really good, interesting presentation about probiotics. I never really knew why you would take them. And anybody who suggested or asked said, you don't take probiotics. No. What do I take them for? And they say, oh, it helps you go to the restroom. I go. So I didn't have that issue.
Yeah.
So I didn't look further. And I said, I've got some at home. I came with this skincare stuff I'm going to take. I didn't know anything about it. Never took the ones I had at home. Never did anything with it and kept on going about my life. As we get back out of quarantine and life started lifing a little more normal, and I wasn't able to walk the 6 miles a day that I was doing to get out of the house with the young adults and to, have some vitamin D and all of this. My husband and I would walk the dog. I mean, we just walk, and we, we're healthy and good shape and everything. People were saying they gained weight during quarantine. We're like, no, we look good over here. We're doing good. We don't need any of that, right? And we got back to real life, and the 6 miles became, I don't feel like walking today. I'm tired. And so the weight started coming back. So I'm watching my friend, and she's growing and evolving right before my eyes on Facebook, right? And she showed a before and after picture. And I was like, I never knew her to look like that. And she was talking about all this inflammation she had in her body. And I said, I didn't see that of her. That she's putting the side by sides, but I knew her on the before. I don't even see her on the after.
Right.
Where was all that? And then I was like, you know what? This is just inflammation too. I'm gonna get rid of that. And so I called her and I was like, hey, you don't have to go back all into it. Just tell me how much it is. We can get what you're doing. And she's like, okay, and she hooked us up. All of a sudden, that Coca-Cola that I was drinking all the time every day didn't even taste good anymore. And I'm like, wow, what? I don't want my Coke. Yes, I want the Coke. No, you don't want the Coke. Yes, I want the Coke. No, you don't want the Coke. So we just noticed all these things changing for us in terms of people were saying to me, there's the baby. That's your baby.
You hear him barking, guys. My dog is barking. He's protecting mama in the house. This is real life over here, guys. I'm not in the studio. I'm home.
Somebody's in there with you. So it was we started noticing changes, and people started noticing changes that I didn't see. And they're saying, what are you doing? Because all of this, what? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I lost like 2 pounds, it's nothing. And so fast forward, of course, clients, what you doing? I want to do it.
Right.
Okay, do. Here we go. Do it. And they started doing it. And in the clients who had issues with their scalp that we could not get rid of with the same ketoconazole shampoo that is prescribed to everyone with any kind of condition, whether it be hair thinning, whether it be bad dandruff, SD, whatever, they come with the same shampoo. And for like 30 years, I'm thinking, why do they keep giving them the same shampoo? Well, of course, that is to fight fungus. Okay, that's a fungal killer. Okay, so I get that, but we didn't get much success until we got the gut going. I started seeing changes. We would have week to week. It would lift off the flakes. Okay, it would make the blow drying a little less embarrassing with the the cape, and you still got flakes coming, but you just got a shampoo. But the next week it would just be as bad. And so once those clients started using Plexus, and I'm just saying Plexus because that's all I know.
That's right.
Okay. It's an easy system. That's what I know. That's what they asked me what I was doing. But until they started getting to that gut, the changes, the consistent changes were not present. Okay. So I said, I got to dig deeper and see what's happening and why this is successful. And so now with all my clients, you could, if you're not ready to take a whole body approach, let's not keep talking about this because we don't know how to do it. Okay.
I love it.
We cannot just do it with one thing. You cannot cure You cannot consistently fight seborrheic dermatitis. You cannot consistently fight malassezia. You cannot consistently fight dry scalp.
Talk about it.
You cannot consistently fight brittle hair. You cannot consistently fight thinning hair. You cannot consistently fight anything.
Let's talk about it.
You cannot consistently fight your weight without dealing from the inside. You have to take a whole body approach. You have to sleep. Okay, now that's the pot calling the kettle black, but you do have to sleep. Okay, I'm a night owl, but you do have to sleep. You do have to drink water. You do have to get with that gut.
And move your body.
And you have to move.
You gotta move.
It's about blood flow. It's about blood flow. It's about the hair. And you know what? We'll do that for hair.
Now that's sad, ain't it?
We will do that for hair. It's our crown. We'll do that for hair. But are we going to do that for eczema? No, we just want to put a lotion on.
That's a topical solution, and it doesn't.
We will spend all day long on the outer, trying every lotion. We will try every shampoo. We will try every oil,
tar baths, all
everything. Oatmeal. We're gonna do everything, but until you get serious and until you start fighting it from within and taking that whole body approach, you're gonna still have it. So, that's what I realized. And so I dug deeper and I really learned about what I was doing after I started taking Plexus and why I consistently felt better, why my energy level was better, why my mood was better.
All of
why I dealt with stress and anxiety in a different way. It's almost scary because I do a lot of things. I do a lot of different things. I'm a Gemini. I'm going to be over here. Then I'm going to be over here.
And everywhere.
I'll be there. I'm going to do this. And so when I get in stressful situations, and because I work on deadlines, okay, until I started dealing with my gut, the way I knew I had something else to do is my butterflies, the insides. Now, outside, I'm good right here. You don't know that I'm like in the inside, like, I don't know what am I going to do? I got so much to do. Okay, you don't know that.
Brown paper bag it, right?
Right. My insides are all in knots. Now I have to write lists because I'm like, ooh, I finished that. I don't have nothing to do. Yesterday, I realized, you relaxed all weekend. You got to finish your ebook.
Well, that's a good problem to have because that anxiety and anxiousness, that ain't it.
No,
that is not it.
No, and so all of that is gut related.
It is, and what people don't know, some people do, some people don't, but the gut and the brain, they're locked in for life. It's called the gut-brain axis, or the gut-brain connection, whatever you want to call it. They are locked in, and so when Tracy was talking about she would get those butterflies in her feeling in her stomach, that's because her brain sent it to her stomach. It's like, and then sometimes you might have to go do a number 2 or number 3, depending on how anxious you get.
Yes.
Right?
And then you're like, oh, I feel better.
Because it's all talking. It's all talking. And so that's why.
And then, on top of that too, the stress, I would see some clients would get little small, about the size of the tip, bald spot, alopecia areata. And I say, what's going on? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, you got this little spot. We're going to watch it. Okay. What you mean I got a spot? And I take a picture. This is what it is. It will come back, but you got whatever's going on, you got to calm it down. And they'll be like, okay, if I see it getting bigger, okay, what, let's talk. What you doing? What's happening? Girl, you just don't know. This is happening and that, and I haven't said anything but this and that and this and that. Okay, how are we going to work with it?
Yeah.
because we don't want this to spread. And that hair, once they calm that thing and figure that thing out, that hair grew back.
Isn't it just an amazing thing when you really know that? And I just like how you're gifted. Like that's a gift that you have now. And it's like, God has really like given that to you, that you're able to service people on a whole nother level. Where you thought, okay, I'm just gonna style some hair and make them cute, cute, cute. We're gonna have some,
Right.
some shop talk, right? And then they're gonna go about their way.
Right.
Now you're literally helping people heal their temples.
Yeah.
And you're making them beautiful on the outside.
Right.
Because I'm gonna tell you what, it does not matter how good you look, you put it on, you look real cute. Like Tracy was saying earlier, no one sees the inside. But it's going to show in one way, shape, or form. It's going to show on your skin. It's going to show in the way you constantly use the bathroom, or you don't use the bathroom because stress will lock up your bowels.
Right.
It will show on your hair, like she was saying.
It will show in your hair.
It'll show in your sleep pattern. You won't sleep. You'll have like insomnia and things like that. So gut health is very, very important. And you can get supplements, but please make sure you have a quality supplement, because they are not created equal. And you shouldn't get them where you get your toilet paper.
Right.
So I love how you service people in that manner. And man, if there was a you around in my 20s, I would have been good a long time ago. Someone to say, look, take care of that anxiety, because I struggled with anxiety since I was a kid. Right. It was unchecked, right? You don't talk about stuff. It's what it is. Like, stop shaking your legs, stop biting your nails. Like, I was a very anxious child. And now, again, taking care of my gut health, all of these things are, yes, we have stress in life. Things are going to come up. Stress is a normal part of life. Right. However, you control what you can, and the stuff that you can't, you get a little
right.
Okay.
Right. You get a little help.
A little help. Because I'm no longer in the business, Tracy, of stressing my nervous system.
Right.
I write notes like you now. I'm 46. I don't got time to be memorizing stuff. Like, can you remind me to do? No, I can't. Write yourself a note, because who gonna remind me to remind you? I am not doing it. You're not gonna
take on your stuff too.
Not putting that pressure on myself, which causes anxiety. So now with all, there's so much I can talk to you for hours about this hair stuff, because it's so intriguing. So you have a client, you can tell that they're stressed out. They have a little spot, and you get it under control. And now what?
So, once they get it back in the day, we'd be good. That would be it, right? Mm-hmm. If the hair's growing back or whatever, that would be it. The problem is if that hair is not growing back. I usually get up on it and see, I see some dark, hair sticking through. So we know blood is still circulating, and that hair follicle is still healthy enough to bring the hair back. You can see that. Mm-hmm. What you need to know is the life cycle of a hair is 3 to 5 years of a strand of hair. Okay. So the hairs that we lose on a daily basis are normal. If they're, whatever is normal to you is normal. Get in your mind about your hair.
Yeah.
I may have breakage, or let's say, we'll call it breakage. Consumers will say my hair is breaking. Well, I say, what does that strand look like? Is it a long strand or is it a short strand? Short strands are something else we need to trim. Okay. Long strands. Okay. How many? Like, is it more than it's been on a normal? No, it's always about the same. Okay. Then we need to just watch it. But if it's not in the bowl, we're probably good. If it's in the bowl more than it has been in the past for me, then that gives me an alarm. Okay. What is going on? Mm-hmm. At this point in my life, as a healthy hair coach, self-appointed, mind you.
And I love it.
Okay.
That's a great name.
I was online and somebody said they were a healthy hair coach and they ain't done nobody's hair but their own. I was like, wait a minute.
You go on the coin now. You can go on and put a patent on that.
Boy, Instagram has given us some wonderful things. I started saying I'm a healthy hair coach because that was
trademark it.
Right. So I'm a healthy hair coach. And so now, honestly, I start to talk with them about the whole body approach. Okay. Getting that sleep, getting your gut together, getting moving, and it doesn't have to be I've run marathons and I've not run marathons.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm in my not running marathon season, right? We're just but you got to move. You still got to do something. You got to have that blood circulating. We talk about massaging the scalp. We talk about, not using oils on the scalp that stay. You want to use something, there's a lot of talk about, a certain oil breaks your hair off or what have you. You got to look at how you use that too. Certain oils, if you have a scalp dis-ease, there are oils you need to stay away from.
Oh, girl, what
So
I need to stay away from?
You have yeah, okay.
I need to stay away because I'm gonna tell you, only thing I use is vitamin E, and I use MCT oil.
That's what you need. If you are susceptible to seborrheic dermatitis, the MCT oil is what you need.
That's
there are
all
certain
I
things you can use. Squalane, mineral oil. You can use tea tree oil. You can use rosemary. But all this olive oil stuff, argan, jojoba, all of that shea butter, that you have to keep that away from your scalp, especially if you have seborrheic dermatitis. Because seborrheic dermatitis, and y'all, if you don't know what that means, so consumers refer to anything going on with their scalp as dandruff. Not true. Dandruff is technically the little light snowflakey kind of things that you might see, and you dust off your black, and you might not want to wear black because sometimes in the winter it's dry. That's just dry skin. Sometimes I'll tell people, hey, put a humidifier in your room. Yeah. Because it's just literally dry skin. And our scalp is an extension of our skin. So what will we do if we're drier in the face? We're going to add moisture. Same thing with the scalp. You're not necessarily, I grew up in Wisconsin. Like, it's so cold, you put Vaseline all on your face. Y'all do that up there?
We did it up here. When we were little, we were all kinds of greasy.
Right, because now that was a protecting, okay? You're not going to solve seborrheic dermatitis. All right. Okay, we don't want to clog the pores up.
Right.
We want to let those pores be able to breathe because the cells are turning over at such a fast rate. That's what's going on. They're turning over at such a fast rate that they can't slough off by themselves. And so because there's a fungus that is going on in our scalps, and if it's not leveled, it gets out of control, and that's malassezia, right? And then that feeds off of oils. So when we see this dandruff, but it's not dandruff, it's really malassezia, when it's oily and patchy, like you can lift it off and it'll still be shaped. You're like, what? A whole piece of skin? That will feed off of oil. So when you put these jojoba oils on your scalp, or the castor oil or the olive oil on the scalp, you're giving it food.
Make it.
And especially if you were getting it in the creases and you used some kind of oil-based moisturizer, you're feeding it. You're feeding it. So contrary to what we learned as little children, you got to oil the scalp, you got to do this. No, please don't.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Not only if you have a dry, quote unquote, dandruff scalp, but also you don't want to clog the hair follicle with oils. And when you clog the hair follicle with oils, it's like having, what's a good example? I don't know, but it's a hole, right? Your follicle is the hole where the hair grows out. And if you cover that,
you're suffocating it.
Clogging it, right?
Yeah.
And that hair is going to try to grow and it's going to be stuck. And so they'll say, oh, forget it, I ain't going that way. And that'll slough off. Well, you got 3 to 5 years for a new one to try. You see what I'm saying? So you got 3 to 5 years for a new one to even try to come out that same follicle. If that follicle has continuously been oiled upon, and let's scratch up the dandruff. Okay, we scratching it up now. We
was good for that.
We scraping the skin. We causing little scratches.
bleeding.
Your blood vessels, your blood cells rush to that place to protect it. It's all inflamed and tight. And then we put more stuff on there and it gets tighter because we're scratching and messing it up, and then it gets infected.
Oh, wow.
And then we don't have a proper breeding ground for any kind of hair.
So
because it's inflamed, it's scarred, it's clogged. And so hair loss can then become a problem.
That's just so sad. Like I love this. I'm a nerd.
Yes.
It's so interesting. And I just think about all the ways that all the things I used to do to my scalp. Now it's really left alone because I have locks. Like
right.
I don't have the shedding. I don't
have health and locks.
Right. I'm just here for it. And so
right.
It's just, but I really did abuse my hair just like I used to abuse my body. By not taking care of it properly,
right?
Like eating the wrong things, drinking the wrong things, and not exercising and all that. It took me to get into my 40s and have some life changes happen, and then menopause on top of that. I'm sure you can tell someone's in menopause too by the hair.
Yes,
that changes too.
That changes.
But it's just like, but I'm
gonna have a little bit of loss there, you know. I can tell when somebody's about to have a hot flash before they can.
What?
Yes. If I'm styling their hair, I'm like, stop. I go in my drawer, I pull out the fan here. They're like, what?
What? What does it look like? Like now I need to know.
I can feel the scalp getting hot.
Oh, you feel the scalp getting hot.
Uh-huh.
Dang. Well,
yeah, I feel it.
You're in there. You're definitely in there.
And they don't even know yet. It's like a good 10, 15 seconds.
You're going to have all the menopause women just touring around holding their scalp.
Right.
Just touch your scalp, see if it get hot. That's a good trick, though.
That's how you know it's coming.
So you talked about the disease, what do you call it? The malaise?
Malassezia.
That and the seborrheic dermatitis and all the other things. But candida, that is all a form of candida.
Yes.
Yeast.
Yep.
Guys. So
yeast overgrowth.
Yeast overgrowth. And yeast will take over your body. And it's literally like she was saying earlier, it's trying to escape. It has nowhere to go. So it's like hitting the surface of your skin because it's your largest organ and it has pores and it's trying to escape. And I'm not a professional here with hair, Tracy, so please correct me.
No, you're right.
But I know what I know about the gut, right?
You're right.
And it's trying to escape and it has nowhere to go. So you're just looking crazy everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I used to get the red patches and then I would see people and it would take over their face like patches. And they were like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And my heart would just break. So I'm like, I just want to help you, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know because I know when I was going through it, I didn't know. And good thing it was just in the up here,
right on the hairline,
just in the crown. But that was annoying because it's like I can't pull my hair back because it's So I'm
honestly, I had someone that told me they just wear a headband.
But then you sweating and it's like it's not that,
like no, you're not getting the natural vitamin D. You're not letting the air dry it up because that's a tacky skin. It's tacky. That kind of dandruff is tacky. And I don't know any other way to explain it, but it's sticky.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
Like your head is always moist. Right. It's always
moist all the time. Like it never dries out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is that. Look, and let me just say this. I know there's a whole bunch of trends with products and that kind of thing, and then we have people using them online, and we think that this is the best thing. I get hives when I go in a store like a Target. Like, let's say I just need a shampoo. I get hives because I'm like, there's too many. How do people even choose? Okay, so that's the one thing. Now, over the years, 35 plus years is a long time to be in an industry. And honestly, you see trends. Yeah. I see trends with styling tools. I still have my stove. I still have my Marcells because they will be back. Okay.
Right.
I have curling irons. I have flat irons. I have, all the tools. They will be back. Trends will be back. We see 90s styles coming back,
Sure
right?
do. Sure do.
So, the thing with the shampoos, we take the sulfates out. It's sulfate free, sulfate free, sulfate free, sulfate this. And if it's not sulfate free, we don't use it because we're naturalistas. I get it. But sulfates are drying to the hair. Okay, they are drying to the hair. However, for clients or people who have textured hair, you're never meant to only use shampoos anyway. So even if there was a sulfate in there, your stylist should have been using the correct pH balance conditioner to offset that. Because I'll tell you what happened with the sulfates, and this is not going to be a popular opinion, okay? But I didn't make it out of popularity. I don't do trendy stuff, okay? So I never made my name on popular nothing, okay? I'm about healthy hair. Healthy hair. So I'm going to say this. What has happened with removing the sulfates? Yes, the sulfates were drying to the hair, but the sulfate purpose was to remove buildup. Now follow me, okay? Now we don't have shampoos with the sulfates that were to remove buildup. And we're doing styles that we want to last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks that we call protective. And we're never removing that buildup that was on that scalp or that hair strand.
Oops.
And then we've got what we call dandruff now, because you're taking out the protective style and your scalp is not healthy. It's in a dis-ease. And all we're doing is scratching it up, shampooing it out, and doing that protective style again.
With no sulfate.
With no sulfate.
Oh, man.
And so I'm not saying that, oh, let's put the sulfates back. But what I am saying is now we need to look at scalp dermabrasions as an option. We've got to remove the buildup. You go, if you're a skincare person and you a blogger and you like all the skincare stuff, you also like facials.
Yes. I love me a good one.
So we need to talk about dermabrasions for the scalp dermabrasions, scalp refreshers, things that will remove that buildup and that overgrowth of skin, especially if we're susceptible to seborrheic dermatitis and malassezia, because those cells have turned over quicker than they should have. Wow. Now, on a normal, non-diseased scalp, and they have nowhere to go because you're in a protective style.
Now I hear you say dis-ease. Are you saying that because it's you just bringing it up, or what's the thing?
I don't. You know what? I was.
I like how it sounds though.
Okay, it's dis-ease. It's not ease. It's not good. It's dis-ease. And I was not raised to say that someone has a disease. I was not raised to speak in a negative tone.
I like that.
There might be dis-ease right now, but there's always a better way. There's always a comeback. And so if we keep in our mind and we say these negative things, disease, we begin to accept that. So it's just dis-ease. It's just a temporary
mindset.
It's just a mindset. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say dis-ease, and I DIS-EASE. That's why.
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm like, I really like how you do that.
How I was raised, it's just dis-ease. It's not.
I like that. I like that a lot. So
we're not going to embrace that. Okay.
No, we're not. And you coined it first, but I'm gonna use it.
Please. I didn't coin it. I just use it.
I'm gonna use it too then.
Right, exactly.
So this has been really, really good. And you guys are watching. Thank you again for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. What does a healthy scalp look like?
Healthy scalp is bright. Depending on your skin tone color, it's going to be pink to bright beige It's not going to be gray. It's not going to be white. If you see a white scalp, more than likely it is just lack of sunlight. So if you have someone with very dense hair, you might have a very pale, but it won't be dusty, chalky. There's a difference.
Okay.
Because if you have very thick skin, like I can't, like, you know, I have to part and separate to get to my scalp. Right. So I don't get a lot of sunlight on my scalp, but it is not chalky. It's more, it's a healthy skin look, you know. I have a client who is who used, through her chemotherapy, she used a cold cap, and I'm not sure of the company name, but anyway, it's a cold cap. And the science behind it is, when you're going through the chemo, if you freeze the cells on the scalp, your hair follicle cells, you freeze those cells, the chemo will not try to attack it because it only wants the live cells. Okay. And so that was the technology. She followed she's a physician. She followed every step to the T, and she made sure that I knew how to follow every step to the T, and we did it. And she didn't lose any hair.
That is incredible.
And
that's incredible. And look, now, another notch on your belt. Like now you have more.
We had to make sure that we didn't, there was no scrubbing of the scalp. Okay. So no cells were then, although they were regenerating, they were not removed. Okay. And her scalp took on a jaundice-like appearance. Yellow jaundice, you know how babies, they have jaundice. It really, and I was watching that happen before my eyes. But honestly, it's because we couldn't stimulate the blood cells and circulate the blood.
Wow.
We had to really we're just really cleaning the hair and causing it not to get tangled, because you're really drying it out, because we're not using oils and that kind of thing, kind of styling products. So every week we're just making sure the hair did not get tangled. We didn't worry about trims. We didn't worry about anything but keeping it intact, and being soft. Now, I'm not light-handed, okay? I'm a hairstylist. You're gonna know I'm on that head, okay?
So that was a
girl, that was a stretch.
Man.
But I mastered it. I mean, you know, and like, wonderful news. She did not, I mean, I would come like, girl, it's not even a normal shedding. Like,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You said that's wonderful. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, that is wonderful, Nisi.
That is so wonderful. So wonderful.
So that's, but you know, I could tell that her scalp was taking on a very different appearance, but we knew why.
Right.
We knew why. Right. So we're still not to the point where we're comfortable. She's probably 3, maybe 4 weeks outside of chemo. And we're still not comfortable yet to massage. But I said, girl, when we get that, we gonna get that. We gonna get it.
She gonna give it the works. And she gonna enjoy that.
Yes, she's gonna enjoy it. Yes.
She might want them heavy hands.
Exactly. I'm gonna be soft. But I can tell that the blood is not circulating. It hadn't been circulating there.
Yeah.
Because we were just freezing that cold cap, and it's really literally would freeze it. It was cold.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yep.
You are amazing. Oh. This has been an amazing chat. Do you guys have any questions for Tracy? Like, get your answers. Ask away, because this is so, you know, I went to the hairdresser for a lot of years. Like, I went from short to long, to weave to wigs, to faux locks, to all the things. And then I just eventually started doing my own hair, because I was like, I just can't keep paying all this money. So I love a variety of hair. Like, it's cultural, right? For me, anyway. So new hair, new do, you know, do what you do. So, but it's like, I've never been educated on the hair.
Right.
You go, you show up, you sit in the chair, they do their thing, they slap the heavy gels and all the things on, the spritz sprays and all I think it was Pump It Up back then.
Right.
fry your hair up, sit you on the dryer, and send you on your way. And it was like never the education. And I like how you and I know some other people that are beginning to do that, like merging this the health and the hair together.
Yes, I see people doing it, and I love it because honestly, this is how I've talked for years. And it was because, like I said, I've never been that trendy stylist. Honestly, I was trained in Hawaii. Okay. And in Hawaii, you've got blended families, blended cultures, blended everything.
Yeah.
So there was no separation in this salon does this type of hair, this salon. You just figure it out.
Right.
You do textures. You do different textures. And when I moved to Atlanta, it was in the 90s. And you know how our hair looked in the 90s.
Fried up.
Not only that, it was about 8 different styles on one head. And I was like, yeah, I can't do that.
Ponytail, a bun, a swoop, waves here.
Waterfall, pineapple curve. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I'm like, this is working to death. I said, oh my God, I don't know that. And it almost made me second guess because honestly, I come from a legacy of barbers and hairstylists. Okay. Awesome. I'm literally 5th generation of barbers. I'm not a barber, but 5th generation of barbers. And so yes, Nisi, I will run that back. But I'm a 5th generation. So I think it was in my blood. However, I didn't come right into this business because I did know that I wanted to be a salon owner. My family I have a family of educators as well. So college was going to be on that plate. Where you going? What you gonna do?
Right.
And so I graduated from Hampton University. Shout out to the Pirates.
Yay.
G2, class G2, Genesis 2. And so after college, like when it was coming to end, I'm like, what am I gonna do? I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I don't want to go to work. And so I
still don't want to go to work.
I still don't want to go to work. Found a way. And at that time I was doing hair in the dorms and that kind of thing. And I found a way to be a shampoo assistant, to get in the industry and to find out if I really wanted to do it because I felt like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a salon owner. But I wasn't ready to work. I was not ready to work.
Right.
So I went to graduate school and I received my MBA in marketing. And then I was like, okay, I got to work now, right? Like everything, I got to work. And then I went to cosmetology school. Okay. So saying all that to say, coming to Atlanta with all the 90s stuff, I had to really figure it out. Like, am I making the right choice? Because I don't do hair like that.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Stick with what you know. You know how to grow hair. You know how to take care of hair, and you heal. You can repair damaged hair. And that's what I did, girl. I just sat back and let them come after all the gels, all the pump it up, all of this and that. I'd get it back together for them.
You repair damaged hair. I mean, that's what
when the self-appointed healthy hair coach that had only done her own hair, I was like, oh no, I'm about to be a healthy hair coach. That's what
and rightfully so. Yes. You deserve that title.
Yes. So anyway, Nisi, the oils, the good oils for malassezia are MCT oil, squalane, mineral oil, tea tree, rosemary oil. Those can be used. Now, here's the thing. You don't want to put those oils and leave it. You really want to put those oils on, let them sit and absorb in your scalp, then wash your hair. Get them out of there. Okay, go ahead and just wash it out. That's what I suggest. Do not let them sit. We don't want to keep putting, okay? Because, rosemary too has protein. It's protein. So your protein is a hardener. And so it's going to make your hair dry at some point, right? And if we keep massaging, because we got thin ends and we keep thin edges, we keep massaging. If that hair is brittle and we're massaging, we're going to break off the brittle hair and it's going to be what? No hair. Now we mad at the rosemary oil. So
wait, that rosemary is always somebody else's fault.
You heard me? Okay.
It's always It's never the user. It's always the stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So let's use those oils. Use it as a massage it in. 30 minutes, leave it. 45 minutes, leave it. Then wash your hair. Then wash your hair.
Do you have a certain shampoo that you recommend to your clients for scalp disease?
For scalp disease, there is nothing wrong with the ketoconazole. Okay, if you really need it, you can get it with a Nizoral. That was before the pink one. Nizoral used to be a prescription shampoo, and it was now it's sold over the counter.
Mm-hmm.
But that's ketoconazole. Okay, that has a 1%, I think, ketoconazole, and then when you go to the prescription brand, it's like 2%. Some difference like that. Just a stronger brand by prescription now. The Nizoral was prescription back maybe I think maybe in the 2000s, early 2000s, they made it over the counter. But Nizoral is it's going to kill fungus, and that's what the malassezia is.
And how often, for someone who does not get their hair done, Nisi said that makes sense. So I'm glad she answered your question. For someone who does not go to a stylist and get their hair done maybe weekly or every 2 weeks, or they may not go ever, and they may do their own hair home. How often should someone with scalp disease wash their hair at home?
You know what? This is why a lot of things that I feel should not have a set. Everyone do this, everyone do that. You honestly have to look at your scalp. None of us take pictures of our scalp. We don't know what's going on up here unless it comes to the hairline, or you dig in it and you see something under your nail. Then you know something, but you don't know what it looks like. I challenge you to take a picture of your scalp. Just part it in several sections. Let somebody else take the picture so that you can see what it looks like. So if I say everyone should wash their hair every week, that might not be true. So if you have some scalp disease, you need to evaluate when that's coming back. If your hair is oily, when does it get oily? If your hair is dry and it starts to break, when does it start to break? And then you judge it by that. So some people may, like I have a daughter, she literally has to wash her hair twice a week. One of my daughters twice a week. The other one, she wears weaves, she wears braids, she does whatever she wants with that hair, and it's good to go. My third daughter, we're like on a weekly routine.
Okay. So every scalp is different, just like with gut health. Every person is different, and you have to look at your scalp, the condition of your scalp disease. I really like how you said that, because that is the same as with gut health. Like, no two people, like your needs and your body is not the same as mine, and they're not going to react the same, and we're not going to heal the same, right? So I really do like how you broke that down too. So now, for someone who has do you recommend conditioner?
I recommend conditioner on people who need conditioner. So some people, their hair strands are so smooth and fine. And excuse me, y'all, for not using the numeric alphanumeric system, the 4A, 4B, C3. I really have to look at a paper to say.
I will be confused.
You have 3C. Okay, so
you talking the right talk.
Right. So someone's hair who's fine and slick, not much texture to it, not bumpy, okay? And might not have a whole lot of hair. That's somebody who doesn't need a heavy conditioner. They might be able to do a leave-in alone. Whereas someone that has a 4B, okay? Because everybody think they got a 4C. You don't. But somebody that has a 4B, you may need a hydrating conditioner. You may also need a leave-in spray so that when I'm brushing through, or when you're brushing through, it doesn't snap and break and pop. So you really got to go with, how does my hair feel? If your hair is wet and it feels dry, that's a thing. Your hair is wet, but it feels dry, right? You need some conditioning going on. You need some conditioning going on. If your hair is wet and it's real just straight and limp, and you don't have any kind of chemical, if it's straight and limp, you probably have been over processed if you have a chemical. But if you don't and it's just limp, you probably don't need a lot of heavy conditioners. We want to see body, we want to see movement, so try a leave-in, a spray leave-in, not even a cream leave-in, a spray. So you kind of got to judge by your hair texture and how it feels after you use the product.
Well, Tracy, I like I said, I can talk to you all day, but I don't want to take up so much more of your time. Nisi said so. Leaving is a must, so I'm let you answer.
Not necessarily, Nisi. But if it doesn't if it doesn't weigh your hair down, go for it. You can use a cream leave-in, but start with a small amount, rub it on your hands, start with the ends and move in. We don't want to plop anything on the scalp. We want to start, that's hair, it's hairstyling stuff. It's not scalp, okay? You could try a mist, a spray leave-in if your hair is finer. You can also use a whole lot of spray if your hair is thicker. So, test the waters and see how you feel the changes in your hair when you use certain products. Don't just use it because somebody used it, so she used it and she said it was good.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because your hair is not the same as everybody else's.
That's true. I'm still stuck on put the oils on, leave it on, and then wash your hair. I have
leave
never,
it on, let it seep. Like these oils are going to go ahead and they're going to, be absorbed by the scalp.
I have never.
There's, how you put Vaseline on and you put moisturizer on, and the Vaseline sits and the moisturizer is gone. Same difference. You don't want an oil that's sitting on that scalp to be on that scalp. Jojoba oil, argan oil, that kind of stuff is for the hair. But if you have malassezia, you want to keep those oils away. You don't even really want to do them on the hair either, because you're allowing, when you brush, you're spreading that, and then you're feeding that malassezia. Nisi, I ain't going there with the hair oil and grease. I have been preaching that forever. Yes, Blue Magic.
That's the crown. The red jar with the oh man, my mom used to grease my scalp up.
Yes, and my grandmother used to blow it and say, when I'm getting burned, oh, that's the grease. That's just the grease.
Just your hair frying, just sizzling. Right. Tear your ear up and everything.
Down, it's just the steam. No, it's not.
and you better know my head is cooking. And you better not move.
That's right. So yeah, we've evolved. Oh my gosh, Madam CJ, we've evolved.
But you know what? Back then, Tracy, and our moms would say, so this, Nisi, this is a good question, because back in the day, mom had to bristle brush, a cup of water, and that grease, that blue grease, or whatever grease she used.
But we didn't have the products. We didn't have the products. We didn't have the choice.
Hair seemed like my hair was so long, my ponytails were so long. And it's like, what was the difference then?
Yeah. We just didn't have choices. And I mean, sometimes you do have to take it old school. What should you do if you're trying to grow your hair? First of all, trims, Krista, trims. This is my girl. This is my friend, my client. Trims, like, how can I say this? Trims are essential because once a strand of hair starts splitting, you cannot stop it. I don't care what a product says. It will not stop. You can cover it with a Band-Aid. You can slick it out. You can make it seem less brittle by putting sheen and all this other stuff. However, it will still be there until you cut that split in. Until you stop it, it's going to continue to split, and then it's going to eventually break. So trims, if one answer is get your hair trimmed every 4 to 6 weeks if you have a chemical, because I still do relaxers, okay? I don't do the problem relaxers because I knew they were a problem when we first started. You tell me to put a mask on my face, that's an issue. We're not doing those. So I'm talking about, creamy crack. Okay, yes, I still do those. I have clients that get that. But 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks if you have a chemical. That includes color, okay? 6 to 8 weeks if you're natural. Even if you're wearing twists or whatever, not locks, but twists, cornrows, all of that, you need to still trim your hair. Okay. Because if you blew out some natural hair, if you blew it out and saw, you could literally see it, you'd see that it's not as healthy as it looks, because there's so many split ends up in that different lens. And if you're natural, and once you get that trim and you're natural, your hair feels softer and it feels better, and your curls work better. And yes, them curls are popping.
I think she was talking about when Mama used to do our hair with the grease.
Oh yeah, those curls were popping. They were stuck in there.
Tracy said Tracy is the bomb hairstylist. I was just asking for the people in the back. Come on for the people in the back. You know, sometimes they won't ask for themselves. Thank you, Krista.
Thank you, Krista. Yeah, the people in the back need to get a trim. Come on, y'all. Get a trim. Go get that trim. If I wasn't locked up, I sure hop a flight and come see you, Miss Tracy. Right. Get a stylist that actually will trim. That's patient with you, will work with you. You know, I believe, like, if you're looking for a client for life and you're a stylist and you're listening to me, if you're looking for a client for life, work with them and be patient. Don't try to send them out the door with the hairstyle that you want them to have today to show off your work, because that client may not come back because you cut all their hair off. How many times say that girl cut all my hair off? Yeah. I didn't ask her to cut all my hair off. See where they are and just work with them, because it's not a rush. Healthy hair, if we're going to have hair, we're going to have it. It's not a rush to get it healthy. Get it healthy where they are. They'll come around. One of my young clients, she's now in college. She's been coming to me since I've known her mother since before she was born. So you have to be born in it. If you're a kid, I don't do kids anymore. You have to be born in it. And she's now she's a senior in college. And there was a time when she just cried, Miss Tracy gonna want to trim all my hair. And I said, if you would just let me trim it every time, we wouldn't have, you know, they'd come just for their relaxers. If let me trim it, and without drama, let's just trim it and do what I tell you at home. Wrap it up at night. Wrap it up at night. Shampoo it. Like, drink your water. Do what you got to do. Eat healthy. I didn't know gut health then, right? Now she's a senior girl. She can't wait. That hair is down that back.
Love it, Miss Tracy.
Her mother said something about she want her hair to, she always say her hair not long. I said yesterday, I said, I know you're not still saying that. She said that was before. So she gave into the trim life, and now hair is where she wants it to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these are some great questions, ladies. Thank you so much, because I'm sure someone else have had the same question or will have a similar question. So thank you for asking. So in closing, heal your scalp, heal your gut, trim them ends.
Yes.
Eat right, move your body, take your gut health supplements, and we can help you. If you know Tracy, go to Tracy. If you don't, me, come to me.
And get some sleep.
Get some sleep, move your body, drink your water, mind your business, right? And control your anxiety.
Right. Stress-free.
Control that stress. So this was an amazing chat, Tracy. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Natasha, for having me.
You are so welcome. We have to do it again, because I feel like a part 2 was needed.
Yes, let's do a part 2. We'll do a part 2.
Good to me. So guys, if you don't have any more questions, we are going to get out of your way, but meet me back here next week. Same air, same place, different guests. I love you guys, and thank you so much for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Later.
See you.